Yo, I'm Micks Mowers and welcome to my channel. In today's video, going to be doing a quick little mini service on my Wolf generator, which I picked up on Facebook Marketplace. Just done a video on how to change a pull cord, and I have previous videos on getting the carburetors clean and getting these machines up and running, because when I purchased this machine, it was not doing that, it wasn't running. So there's other videos on my channel on this Wolf generator, and there's other generator videos too, so go and check all those out. But if you want to know how to change your oil and spark plug on your generator to make sure that it's winter prepped, just in case you have an outage or something like that, then this could be the video for you. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's get this generator run up nice and warm, get the oil out of it and change the plug. Right, so first things first, before we do anything, this generator has not had an oil change since I've had it. I hadn't had it long. It was purchased second or third hand off of Facebook Marketplace. I don't quite yet know how many hours it's done. I don't know any of that information. All I do know is currently it does run, or did run 3 or 4 weeks ago. It is running on E5 fuel, which I will be taking over and running for about an hour on aspirin fuel as soon as I get my bum down the shop to go and buy some. That way I can then forget about this machine for around about 2 years and have that just under the bench, so it's good to go. So to start this machine up, it's quite simple. Let me bring it around so you can see what's going on. We'll just bend it down a little tiny bit as well. There you go. To start the machine, it is stone cold. It's not been run today. We're going to turn the fuel on. We're going to choke the machine. We're going to turn it on the front control, fully choked. I mean, just let that fuel run down, and then we're going to try and start this machine up. The reason I want to start this machine up, I want to let it run for about 10-15 minutes, just so we can get the oil nice and warm, so it's nice and liquidated and all thinned out, and we get the oil out of this machine. So it's on choke, all turned on. Let's give it a pull. So there you go, whilst this machine's running, I'm going to open the doors up, bit of ventilation in here, let this machine run, and I'll come back to you in 2 or 3 minutes. Right, so that is my generator now all run up. I'm just going to turn the fuel off. Now don't worry, I do have my door wide open, which is right behind you, and the exhaust was running right outside the door there. And also I do have a diesel heater currently running, and I also have a carbon monoxide tester in my shop as well, so it does go off. I'll have to go out for a bit, but it's not saying, it's not beeping at the moment. It normally throws a get out like that if it gets a bit too bit smoky in here. So just let that cool down for 2 or 3 seconds. I'll come back to you. I need to change the battery on my GoPro. Right, battery now changed. So first thing I want to do, I want to remove the spark plug. So I don't know what spark plug it's got in here since the day I purchased it off of Facebook Marketplace. I have no idea. But part of the service, maintenance on this machine will be, it's a bit warm, to change the plug out. Let's have a little look, see what we got. Not the right size yet. Stick that on and just loosen that plug off. Now it might be a little bit warm, so just go easy, because it has been running for about 10 minutes. We're going to whip the plug out, see what delights we have. Quite a long plug, like a Honda clone style. That is warm, that plug is very warm. Ooh, take it out. Oh, that is very, very warm indeed. Let me just pick that up, and I've got a pair of gloves here somewhere, which I should be using anyway, just to handle it. It's a bit too warm for my little fingies. Let's have a quick little look here, and it's a long reach plug, as you can see. Actually looks quite good, to be fair. It looks quite good, but let's see what make it is. Oh, it is a F7 RTC, which in all honesty, as we all know, is one of those hidden, mistaken torch spark plugs. Okay, now torch spark plugs, everyone knows that Micks Mowers Man is not a fan of the torch spark plug, because they're only good for one thing. Only one good for one thing. That's not in generators. They're only good for smashing windows. With the windows now smashed, we can now get on and put a decent plug in. So let's put a decent plug in. Let's put in a NGK. This is a BPR 6ES, brand new spark plug. This will be cold, so no need for that. And you'll notice on the old spark plug, the top of the spark plug just there is missing its top piece. So don't panic, because on the HT lead there's a little tiny brass element in there which requires me also to remove the element off of this spark plug here. As you see, this spark plug's brand spanking new, So you can move a little top bit off the top of the spark plug as per, because it will fit directly in there as it should do, okay? So we're going to take it back out, we're going to fit that spark plug, brand spanking new, Honda one, or NGK BPR 60S. We're going to wind that in by hand. Now always be very, very careful when you're putting in spark plugs on a warm engine, okay? I wouldn't recommend it normally, but I've been doing it for a little while, about 2 weeks, been repairing engines, about 2 weeks. And you can very easily cross-thread them, okay? So just make sure that the spark plug is going in nicely. If it's giving you any resistance at all when you're not quite sure, stop what you're doing, let the engine cool right down, and then change the plug when cold, because what happens, the engine head will expand and it's very easy to cross thread. I'm not going to put the HT on just yet, quite still hot that plug, and we're going to turn the machine around, because now is the time I want to take the oil out of this machine. Now there is actually, on this machine, there's actually a low oil sensor, okay? So if your generator doesn't fire up, okay, it might be worth knowing, check that your red light has not come on, because this has actually got a low oil sensor on it, okay? I know it has. So that will tell you if your oil is low, okay? It should be green if it's okay and red if it ain't. And when you fill these up, you're filling them up so that you're on level ground and the oil is level with the top of the threads on the bottom, okay? Let's now just remove this very quickly, and I'll take you through it step by step. Now bear in mind this oil will be a little bit warm. So I'm going to just remove the cap, and no oil has come out, which is not always a good sign, but I know that the oil is good in this machine, or is filled up, because I topped it up in the last video I did when I got the machine up and running. Okay, so that I do know. But the quality of the oil, I don't know what's in it or nothing. So as we can see down here, let me try and put a bit of light on for you. There you go. As you can see down here, you can pretty much see that the oil is where it needs to be. If anything, it's just a little bit lower. So the oil should be up to this mark here, and it's just a little bit further down. Okay, so it's just a little bit low. It's not excessively, but it is a little bit low. Any lower, and you might start to trigger the oil sensor, in which case your machine will not start if it is low on oil. It is a safety device put there to stop you blowing your machines up and locking them up. Some people do remove them, okay, which is fine if that's the sort of thing you want to be doing. But they're there as a backup to stop you blowing your machines up. You can remove them if you know you've got fresh oil in it and you know you've got a dicky oil sensor. You then can remove it, okay? But I wouldn't advise doing that for very, very long. So all we now want to do, I use these little Chinese tubs. These are brilliant, right? Ideal for the job. And all we can do now is just, with the fuel turned off, make sure the fuel is turned off, which mine is. You can then just get this generator in the ready position and tip this generator up onto its side as far as it will go, allowing all that oil to come out. So don't be frightened tipping it right up, as far as you can get it, up like so. And you want as much of this oil out as possible, okay? So I'm just going to let this drain. Now bearing in mind this oil has been well warmed up, okay? We know it has, so I've run the machine for about 10 minutes myself. So the oil will be nice and warm, nice and thin, and do everything it should do. You want to leave this up in this position for around about 2 or 3 minutes from when it stops pouring oil, which it has done a little while ago. It's now just dripping oil out, okay? So make sure you get all the oil out. I'll come back to you once I've done so. Okay, so now all the oil has been removed, okay? That's how much oil came out, okay? So about 500 mil, 450, something like that, I'm guessing. And the oil, as you can see, is very, very thin. It's quite warm, I'm not going to touch it, and it's very, very thin, okay? I have no idea what oil was in there. And then what I then did, I tipped the generator up this way initially, okay? But then you can also just get a little bit of oil left over. So what I then did, I then tipped the machine up this end, and then over this way, and then what that does is that gets all the oil that's trapped at the very, very bottom, and I managed to retrieve it. It doesn't look like a lot, but that's what's actually in the sump, right? A little bit of grey matter in there as well, a little tiny bit of silver work in there, but I dare say it's probably the wrong oil in here anyway, so it doesn't look excessive. I dare say this is the first oil change it's ever had, I dare say, okay, because not many people have generators for that long, they buy a generator brand new, don't need to use it, or they go camping for a season, decide they don't like it, and then that's the last time they ever use one, okay? Now I have noticed also that in this cap I've got, there is a little tiny breather hole, okay? But I'm guessing there should be a little tiny sponge in there, okay, just to stop it from spitting out. Either, it makes no odds to me. So now, I've got here some Halford's oil, and I did a bit of research, asked a few friends, looked at the old the sheet for as best I could, and it recommends 530, okay, for where I'm in the UK. And this is going to be a fully synthetic oil as well, okay. My mate Klaus over at Hobby Motor, he was the one that said, yeah, fully synthetic is the way to go with it. And he knows his oils, he definitely knows his oils. So, all we're now going to do is open that up. It won't come with a straw, they never do. Now you can do two things. I've got this little device here, which is brilliant for putting oil in, okay. So what you can then do with this one is put it into there, suck the oil up, okay, all the way. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. This is brilliant, this thing. My mate Hanky, the mower man, the original mower man, Paul Stamp, he put me onto this, and I've never looked back. So with this machine, we can now just put the syringe in and guide the oil in. And the advantage with it is you can introduce it really slowly, and you'll be able to see when it comes up to its full mark. Now I can see that's not quite going to do it in one go. I'll wipe that off, and I'm going to put it back into my bottle. I'm going to put a bit more oil in. Absolutely no mess. Back in we go. I'm looking for the oil to come up to the minimum mark, up to them threads. Nearly there. Let's have a little look. Let's let that run down. We're not quite there yet. A bit more. Stand up and do this. This should be the one that I'll finish it up on. So I'll grab my DeWalt light so I can actually see what it is we're actually doing. I don't want to overfill it. That looks to be the oil mark coming up. Yeah, we're nearly there actually. Pretty much had it from the last one, so I'm going to slightly overfill, not by a lot. Right, there you go. I think we're there. I'll put that oil just there for now. Put that down to one side. I'll come back to that in a minute because I want to just double check where we need to be. So a little bit of a clean up, just around the edges, and as you'll be able to see from where it needs to be, you get a tiny stick. You can be able to see in here that my oil is pretty much, there it is there, and it's right on the, it's just gone over two threads, okay, which is not going to hurt it, okay, but that's the correct amount of oil inside this generator now, and it's the right oil for the job, for the temperatures that I receive over here in the UK. So I now know that this machine has been fully oiled, and that's good for the season. Now don't be flippant in regards to it. It's had an oil change, that's good for a couple of years. If you're not running this machine, okay, for a year, even after a year, I would still recommend changing the oil after a year, even if you haven't run the machine, okay? Because oil does lose its goodness if the oil is just sat there, okay? So after a year, if it's not done, any work, take the oil out, put some more oil in, and you're good to go. That way, you know that your oil is good and clean and as it should be. So make sure your oil is kept well up to date. And then the next thing to do is to start the machine back up. So we now know it's had a carburetor clean in previous videos. The air filter's good anyway, I know that. We've had an oil change. We had a brand new spark plug because we had a torch spark plug in there, which is no good for nothing. So now we'll start the machine up. And I know for a fact that this machine, once I've got some aspirin in there, that this machine will be good to go for at least a year. 2 years on the aspirin fuel. But I now know that this machine should have no problems. HTD back on, Mick, because I won't do anything. That's on. Choke the machine, fuel tap's turned on. Turn the machine on, and we'll fire it back up again. And as you can see, my green light is on. There you go. So that's good. Now it might be a little bit low on fuel. Just make a bit of a funny noise. Let me just top the fuel up. I think we're a bit low on fuel, which is a good thing really, because I want to be running aspirin in it anyway. Let me just check that fuel. What I don't want it to do is to run out of fuel and suck any dirt in the carburettor up. But let me just bring you guys around instead of staring at my arse. There you go. So it could be just a little bit low on fuel. I didn't put a lot in it last time, but it's just starting to hunt and surge a little tiny bit. And that's normally the first sign with a generator that your fuel is running low. So if it is, I'm not going to put a lot in here because I say I want to be running it on aspirin, but what I'll probably do is, yeah, a little bit low. What I'll probably do is I'll probably put a little bit of fuel in now, just let it have a good run, and then I'll nip down the shop, get some aspirin, and I'll fill it right up with aspirin. Cost me about 45 quid to fill it right up because aspirin fuel is not cheap. And then every sort of couple of months if I need to, I can just run the machine up. Am I out of fuel? Oh, so that said I was out of fuel then. That's a weird thing, wasn't it, running out then? Donut. There's a cap in the end of it. I'll put a bit more fuel in, and that'll just help it. So this fuel, it doesn't keep for very long. And I know that a good friend of mine, who's got a YouTube channel, he got 2 brand new generators, and unfortunately he quoted, I never use stabilisers, never have, never will. And both his generators didn't start. Now, I'm not going to knock him because he is an absolute well-famous YouTuber and he knows his stuff. But the current state of the fuel that we are receiving in the UK is absolutely useless. And I think it even caught him off guard. And that's the problem. You need a generator. You want a generator to start when you want it. When the lights go out 10:30 at night, and you need power quick to make food, to light, illuminate, power a grinder, whatever it is you need to do, you want your device to start, okay? And that's why I highly endorse, not that I'm affiliated, the aspirin style fuel. Use aspirin, put it away for 2 years, forget about it, okay? It's done. I run my chainsaws on it. I even use a steel version, the multi-mix, Moto Mix on my steel stuff, good as gold. In fact, my steel chainsaw was running really poorly because I had E10 or E5 fuel in it. I topped up with the Moto Mix, and after 3 or 4 minutes, it ran sweet as a nut. Good as that. So let's just start back up so it now stop hunting and surging. If not, it'd be carburetor back off, but it shouldn't do. You shouldn't need it. Fuel tap turned on. That should have cured it now. Let's have a look. Turn it on. Choke, yeah. Better. Hunting and surge is now gone. Right, I'm happy with that. I shall now shut my fuel off. I know my generator is now good for 30 days. 30 days. Because it has E5, E10 fuel in it. I know it's only good for 30 days. After 30 days, you're pushing your luck. I'm going to get some aspirin in there. I should just probably run it on the E5, E10 for now till it starts to hunt and surge, and then I should then run it through with aspirin, fill it up with aspirin fuel, and then, as far as I'm concerned, it's then got aspirin fuel in there, good for 2 years. However, there you go, quick little video on how to change a spark plug, get rid of the torch spark plugs, which come in these as generally standard. So I know this machine has not had a new spark plug since the day it was born, and date of birth would have been, got date of birth on it. I don't think it even has. Date of birth. Let's have a look. Oh, date of birth. I want to say serial number says 20. I think it's 2004 at a push. So it's quite an old generator. It's probably not had a spark plug or an oil change since then. Okay. I've now put brand new engine oil in there. I know it's good to go for at least a year, 30 days on the fuel. This generator will run and start if I need it to this winter. And once I've got the Aspen in there, I can leave it for another further 2 years. As long as it's check the oil, make sure the oil's okay. This machine's good to go. Hope you enjoyed a little video, Micks Mowers and Mower Man, how to change your oil and spark plug on this generator. If you did, give us a big thumbs up, hit your subscribe button and whack the old bell. It helps towards growth of my channel. I'm trying to grow it. We're nearly up to 30,000 subscribers, and I want to get there before Christmas if I can. So I look forward to you girls and guys next time. Micks Mowers very, very soon. But until then, don't forget, much more importantly, take it easy.